Hello everyone. In today's video I will be discussing appearances of visual kei subculture and references to it in various forms of media for the third time. However, this time will be special as the video will be fully based on your suggestions that you've left in the comments of my previous videos on this topic. First of all, sorry for the lack of content. Over the past few weeks I've been either ill or busy with college stuff or too stressed out to do anything, but now I'm glad to be back and I hope I can go back to making videos somewhat regularly. Another thing before we start, some time ago I announced on my community tab that I'll be making a Q&A video as a special for 4000 subs. If you have not asked me a question yet, but would like to do so, you can head over to my community tab and scroll down a bit to find that post and comment your question under it. Or I'll just link the post to the comments of this video, I guess. I think I'll record it maybe 2 weeks from now or 3, I don't know, we'll see. Also, Canary Complex released a new album some time ago and you should go check it out. And it's very cool, especially if you like Malice Miser, you'll probably enjoy it. Thank you to Haitani, Mumblehoney and Remilia for supporting me on Patreon. And now finally let's get into the video. This entry was suggested by Blue Ivy. Toy is a Japanese manga series by Atsushi Kamijo, adapted into a 55-minute anime film in 1987. It's about an underground punk rock band named Gasp trying to get a recording contract. It was actually a pioneer of band-themed manga and would serve as an influence for other series such as Beck and Nana, which we will talk about later, by the way. In the series there is a character named KEI, who's a vocalist of another band, Penicillin Shock. Without getting into the details of the plot, his story is that he used to admire Toy, the vocalist of Gasp, but then he started to consider him a sellout or whatever and started to some beef between their bands. KEI appears to look pretty VK-ish. Keep in mind that those were the early days of this subculture, before the term visual kei was even coined.
あと1週間になりましたね。野音のライブ。
チケットもう売り切れだよ。
うちのメンバーも楽しみにしてるんですよ。
The visual kei alternative rock band Penicillin took their name from Penicillin Shock and named their first album after it. Suggested by Chupichu and Flower at Oifrorina. Hypnosis Mic Division Rap Battle is a multimedia franchise about fictional rappers. One of the characters, Jushi Aimono, voiced by Yuki Sakakihara, is an 18-year-old vocalist for a visual kei band Argo Orchestra and a member of the Badass Temple rap team. The Hypnosis Mic website describes him like this, translation according to the Hypnosis Mic wiki. He is a two-sided character whose onstage personality is very different from his offstage personality. He was bullied as a student and has always treasured his stuffed pig Amanda, which he received from his grandmother at the time as a friend. Although he can be a bit of a crybaby, he has continued to struggle with his past and has grown to the point where he can speak his true feelings openly. If you're interested, there's a pretty cool video on YouTube made by Otapul, which gives a character breakdown for Jushi. But what interests us the most is that his costume resembles that of Gecht, the stuffed pig Amanda resembles Cozy of Malice Miser, and his band's logo is identical to that of Moi Moi. The chorus to one of his songs, Violet Masquerade, sounds a bit similar to Versailles's Masquerade. As you might expect, there's more VK related stuff about this guy, but if you want to learn more, watch Otopol's video. They did a great job and I don't want to steal everything they've said. Suggested by Chupichu and Lamuel Tan. From Argonavis, formerly known as Argonavis from Bang Dream, is another multimedia franchise. It includes a visual kei band named Phantom Iris. They are from the city of Nagoya, which, if you've watched my video on visual kei subgenres, was a very important city for the early development of visual kei. According to the From Argonavis wiki, in order to participate in a live royale festival, Phantom Iris moved to Ikebukuro, the same place that Gekt almost got fucking shot by the Yakuza while visiting Mana's apartment. You can check out my Mana Iceberg video if you don't know the story. And now a third project, also suggested by Chupichu. Magatsunote features 19 characters across 8 groups referred to as faction. Each group has professional visual kei bands assisting in productions of their songs, although the characters themselves are not labeled as visual kei artists. But what I found interesting is that Magatsunote has a profile on VKG, where they are tagged as Mishitsukei. According to a comment by Patrick, a band Trapness from the manga series Nana, quote, "looks like it is VK coded." And yeah, I can definitely see that. And as noticed by Night of Day, the bassist of Trapnest, Takumi Ichinose, appears to have been based on Atsushi Sakurai, the vocalist of Backtick. One Reddit comment left by Garmon Bozia describes how Takumi's story is similar to Atsushi's real-life story. If you're interested, you can pause the video and read it. By the way, a small piece of trivia about myself, because I doubt I'll ever have an excuse to mention this. The opening song to the Nana anime was actually one of the first songs I've ever learned on guitar, despite the fact that I've never watched the anime nor read the manga. I've already mentioned this manga in my previous video, but didn't have much to say about it. Thankfully, at AskZeroMyCities left a comment describing VK's presence in this manga. Quote, "In later chapters of Tomorrow I'll Be Someone's Girlfriend, there's a character who used to be a huge fan of visual kei when she was younger. She mentions spending a lot of money on VK related stuff. Her best friend from back then also used to love visual kei and dress in Lolita clothes." Thank you, AskZeroMyCities. Seats, however it's pronounced. Entry suggested by Manasama with a praying emoji. Black Butler, originally titled Kuroshitsuji, is a shonen manga adapted into an anime set in Victorian era London. Except for the 4th season, the opening songs for the anime are all made by visual kei bands. Monochrome Kiss by Sid, Shiver by The Gazette, and Enamel by Sid again. In the series itself there's not really anything VK related, though you can make the connection that the characters dress in Victorian era attire which influenced Gothic Lolita fashion which is related to VK, and there is also a Gothic Lolita character. The comment mentions a Black Butler OVA in which the characters are in a modern alternative universe and they dress kinda VK-ish. The OVA in question is the making of Kuroshitsuji 2. Also, the character of Paula is voiced by Yui Itsuki, the vocalist of Yusei Teikoku. And there's also this official artwork. Shout out to my friend Bitch Boy for helping me out with this section. Suggested by Dadaroma Enjoyer at Dadaroma Pilt. Barairo Emperor is an NSFW manga by Aso Misuho. Its summary reads: Keito, a high schooler with an odd love for plants, finds a cosplaying babe in the garden. The babe in question is Rose, the reigning king of the plant kingdom. Rose is on the verge of extinction due to the lack of human affection. Only sex with Kaito can restore his energy. Okay, I'm not reading. At the beginning of chapter 4, we see a picture of the main character's parents and they are portrayed as Mana and Gecht of Malice Miser. Another entry suggested by Night of Day. In chapter 27 of the webcomic My Missing Oscar, which is about a captain of the British Navy tasked with capturing a pirate, one of the characters gets a makeover and looks like Malice Miser's Mana in the Au Revoir music video. Lots of Malice Miser mentions today. Night of Day also mentioned that the character Funny Valentine from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures could be named after My Funny Valentine by Baktik, but apparently, at least according to JoJo's Bizarre Wiki, he is actually named after a Richard Rogers song of the same title. But honestly, given the fact that JoJo references a lot of rock and heavy metal bands like Dio, Queen, AC/DC and stuff, I find it more likely that the author would reference Baktik over Richard Rogers. But that's just my personal thought. The last JoJo season I've watched was Diamond is Unbreakable, so I don't know, maybe they start referencing 1930s songs later. This one was suggested by Orange Enthusiast. Crystal of Reunion is a Japanese gacha style game. For its second anniversary it had a collaboration with Baktik, with the band providing a theme song for the game. Apparently the producer of the game is a fan of Baktik. Items related to the band were added to the game and also Atsuji appeared as a character in it. Nagitoko Maeda mentioned that several Final Fantasy characters appear to be inspired by Visual Kei artists. This includes Vincent Valentine, Squall, Leonhardt, and Genesis Rhapsodos. Squall and Genesis are modeled after Gecht, and Gecht was also the voice actor for Genesis. I've mentioned that in the Gecht Iceberg video. There's also a story of how Squall figurines were sold, labeled as Gecht. Check out the Iceberg video if you're interested, but it's over an hour long. According to Fab, at Cersei239, a Korean manhwa, the Tarot Café, has a VK-like style. Dadaroma Enjoyer also mentioned Tarot Café and said that they, quote, saw a person saying that in the first volume a gesture that appears reminds them of Cozy of Malice Miser. They're not sure if they're that similar, and I think I agree with them, although the eye makeup does resemble the one that Cozy had. Suggested by Sarah. You might be a bit surprised to see Animal Crossing here. In Animal Crossing New Horizons released in 2020, there are dressed up items available in the game named Visual Punk Outfit, Visual Punk Dress, Visual Punk Wig and Visual Punk Boots. However, in other languages available in the game, Japanese, Chinese, French, Italian and German, these items are not named Visual Punk but Visual Kei. I wonder why they decided to translate it to English as Visual Punk. A suggestion by Lauren Rossin. I'm sure most of you know what Death Note is, a very successful anime series, the first anime I've ever watched actually.
Damn it. He's using this microtransaction to see if I'm Kira.
The first opening song to it was made by Nightmare, a Visual Kei band. And I've seen it said a lot that Death Note has a very major VK vibe. Also, the character of Misa Amane dresses in a gothic Lolita-like style, which again is worth mentioning due to Gothic Lolita's connection to VK. Apparently she was supposed to be a full-on Gothic Lolita, but sadly the concept was dropped.
Wait, can you even get a Big Mac at Taco Bell?
Hamburger.
Another one suggested by Dadaroma Enthusiast, VanaN'Ice is a Vocaloid Visual Kei band created by SCL Project. Its singers are Kagamine Len, Kamui Gakpo, who is voiced by Gecht, and Kaito. It's produced by Natsuki, Haku and Haruaki. And now, last but not least, in a comment under the first episode of this small series of mine, Chris XLR8R said that Yuga Aoyama from the anime My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia gives them strong Lorraine Kamijo vibes. And yeah, I can kinda see it.
Aren't you wondering about moi? Where was my sparkling light?
Interesting. So the people you...
Did you miss me?
So All Might put that hole in the dome after all, I figured.
Where do you think I was?
Where?
It's a secret.
And that will be it for this video. Thank you to everyone that left comments with suggestions for entries for this video. Researching them was very fun, especially on the topics that I have absolutely no idea about. Once again, please ask questions for my Q&A if you haven't already. Check out Canary Complex's new album, it's really cool. Thank you to Haitani, Mabuhani and Remelia for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.